Hi there, Alberto. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Christopher Mills from Popped. How are you doing today?
Hi, Christopher. Really good, and you?
I'm doing so well. My first question, I wanted to say congratulations on the premiere. I saw that you said it was the first time you were able to have a premiere for one of your films, and I wanted to talk more about how that experience was. Getting to actually, have this great moment with everyone, on the carpet. That you wasn't able to have for your previous two films because of the strike and COVID.
Yeah. I was really excited because the first time it was COVID and the second time was the strike. So to be able to, I mean, you make movies for people to enjoy and laugh and cry and have feelings. So when you screen the movie and then you're getting the laugh that you wanted and you hear a little bit of sniffles here and there and you know you got them, it was fantastic. I think this movie is one of those that deserves to be watched, together with a group of family to experience a very exciting adventure. So it was for sure a dream come true. And I will never forget for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I'm glad you honestly had such a great time. You were able to share it with other people and the cast and the crew as well. My next question: I've seen some people try to say that this is a standalone sequel to the previous Dora film that came out, and I wanted to get from you: is this? Do you see this as a standalone sequel to that last Dora film, or is this completely its own thing?
It's a complete new film. It's kind of like a reimagining of what a live action Dora movie is. So we're inspired by like the animated series and everything that become it, and then we made it our own. It has a different feel and look, a little bit more realistic, and not only did we change the characters, but we changed the whole concept itself.
And I do have some questions. I'll go into that. But before I get into that, what was it about Dora and the Search for Sol Dorado that they told you about, or you saw maybe a script that you were like, this is the film that you want to direct?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I dreamed of making these movies because it had like action and adventure. It had a lot of comedy and it was fun, but also had like a lot of heart and heartfelt moments. Because especially now, like a lot of the movies either they're very like action heavy, but they don't have character arcs, or they're very indie and very character driven. That I like the spectacle. So this had like when I read it, I was like, oh my God, it has everything, and it goes in an unexpected direction with Dora that I didn't think they would take the risk. So I was very happily surprised when I read the script.
And then you said you've gone for a more realistic take on Dora and her world. Obviously, some people were upset over the look of Boots, and I noticed that in the film, uh, there is like a handmade doll of Boots from that looks like the cartoon version.
Yeah.
What was the decision to to go with this realistic looking monkey instead of the cartoony blue Boots that everyone knows?
Yeah, because we were making this world as realistic as possible, filming the jungle and create all these sets. Like it just felt um, that it fit like that would fit in our world, like we didn't want to make a cartoony looking one or and that's the reason we were always and in the reality, like the original plan was to get a real monkey to have it on
Mhm.
set, but like there's some very strict laws in Colombia where we shot, so we ended up doing all CGI, and also we added that he talked in the original script, he didn't talk, and then we added that he
Okay.
talks because I think people were expecting him to talk.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing that, and it just felt right. I think it would have been a little weird because everything was so realistic to have like cartoony puppet, especially in this one, like he only talks to Dora,
Yeah.
kind of understand him and not anybody else. So like it had to be look real. Otherwise, people would be like, "Why is that weird?" Animated thing
Yeah.
there, and
It'd
like
be a bit odd if everything was just so realistic and then you got the talking monkey that's just talking to everyone. It kind of makes more sense it just being a connection between Dora and Boots, basically.
yeah.
And then one thing I noticed was Dora's inspired by Camilla the Crusader. That's who inspires her. That's her hero. And I was wondering, what was the decision to to give Dora a hero, someone to look up to, and if you could go into more detail about their relationship slash dynamic in this film and what people can expect.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was important for us to create a message of like to be able to like inspire. You also need mentors, so we really wanted to tap into the region of Dora. Like not only we show that, we also show how she meets Boots that we never seen before. Where did she get the map? So we really wanted to establish like all the iconic things that you already know, where they come from. And I think it was important to show that it's important to inspire people and also get inspired and then give the chance to anyone to make you grow and be a better person. And I think the character of Camila shows that, but also, with a twist because, when she grows up, you'll see the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that make it like layer and interesting because, sometimes you think about something else and it doesn't turn out that way. Yeah.
How much of this movie was shot on location?
It's 100%. I mean, obviously, like the jungle is all real jungle in
Yeah.
the rainforest in Colombia. And then the set pieces obviously we couldn't, find those ones in real life.
Yeah.
They were all practical, they were all built. There's Chinosky who also just did Lilo and Stitch and he did Obi-Wan. He created all the sets that they were like 100% practical from the fire, from the closing the wall. There's like a sequence in the bomb chamber where everything closes in. They like the kids literally had to act. They didn't even have to act because they had to survive that because they had
They had to
X amount
survive,
of
yeah.
money. I mean, X amount of time. Sorry, to be able to escape this thing. Obviously, we had like a secure thing to break in case something went wrong, but like they had like
Yeah.
I think 2 minutes to be able to pull it off. So for me, it was amazing, and for the actors, I think it was rarely any movies doing that right now. So that was really cool.
I mean, I think it's always a better way to make a film because it's like the actors can actually feel that they're there. It's not.
Yeah.
It's always nice that they can pretend. It shows how good they are acting. That nothing's actually there. But to have a practical set, to have actual mechanics that work, I think it just makes it all more real, and it works when you get to see it on the screen and see it all together. So I do
Yeah.
love you went on location, you done practical stuff. Like you said, we don't really get that much these days, so it's nice to see that you went for that with this film. And then final question: with on location filming, what was the hardest thing for you to film in Dora and the Search for Sol Dorado on location, or maybe it was to do one of the practical sets that was built? But what was the hardest thing for you?
I think the hardest, I mean, it's like, I think in nature, like we really respected nature and we were there. So like we had snake wrangler who would get snakes out of the set like every day and like someone got stung by a scorpion and then the heat and it's brutal like when you're there, but it also gives you this inspiration because you feel like the vibes of this jungle and how powerful it is, and then you can embrace that. But like, yeah, you see the movie like when they're sweating, no makeup needed. They were like literally
Yeah,
sweating, but they were like there's bugs everywhere in the frames, and it was that was for me like the most challenging one, like being surrounded by real nature, and then while trying to focus in directing, and hopefully a scorpion is not gonna sting you. Like you're trying
yeah.
but that's the thing, and it's like also look at your feet, like there's no scorpions behind me or anything. So that was for sure the most challenging one.
Just to add onto that, whether did you have someone on set to make sure that like all the animals and everything was safe and all the
Oh yeah,
cast?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We got a humane person from there, yeah, yeah. And then we got the logo and everything. Like we truly respected the animal. They had more privilege than us, I think. They were treated more like, oh, not a lot of
Yeah,
meat, and no, not a lot of so which was really wonderful, yeah.
I'm glad you kept everything in consideration when it came to the animals and the nature of it, keeping it all preserved and everything. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. I can't wait for people to watch Dora and the Search for Dorado. I think every time we get something new Dora related, whether it's an animated show or a film, it kind of brings in a new generation to watch. I watched Dora when I was younger, and it's like I got my niece who watched Dora when she was younger, and it's just gonna always keep continuing. So I want to say thank you for
Oh, no, thank
introducing
you.
this to a whole new generation.
Thank you for the interview. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.